Good afternoon, morning. Hello, everyone. I want to create this recorded lesson for you all because we are running out of time, as everyone knows, during our classes. So we can't always get to everything that I want to. So this recorded lesson will be something I would like for you to watch on your own. There will be some homework assignments that go along with it. And then, of course, if you have any questions, you can email me. This is how we'll do it. So the first thing we're talking about are conjunctions. And in this class, for right now, what we're going to be focusing on are coordinating conjunctions, okay? So there is a video. You will not be able to hear the audio, so I will talk. But you can click on the link and watch the video whenever you want. All right, so again, this is coordinating conjunctions. All right, so the coordinating conjunctions, they are small words that connect to independent or to dependent clauses, depending on what the sentences are. So let's go ahead and see that first. So there again, the grammar rule is that coordinating conjunctions are going to connect to independent parts of a sentence. So they're what kind of goes in the middle, and they're words that you use every day. You're going to say, oh yes, I know what a coordinated conjunction is. I use it all the time. So the easiest way, and even for me, the easiest way to remember what the coordinated conjunctions are is with the acronym FANBOYS. And again, an acronym is each letter of the word is its own word, okay? So it helps you remember. So FANBOYS is the word you should remember when you think of coordinating conjunctions. So here they are. So F is for, A is for and, N is for nor, B is for but, O is for or, Y is for yet, and S is for so. So we have 7 FANBOYS, or 7 coordinating conjunctions. And again, those words, those 7 words, help to connect to independent parts of a sentence. So let's go ahead and see those. So for and nor, but, or, yet, and so. So those are your FANBOYS. If that's the best way, I think, the easiest way to remember them. All right, remember, memorize those FANBOYS. So the big thing is FANBOYS, they connect. They are connectors. They're going to connect parts of a sentence, you know, independent or dependent parts of a sentence, but that's what they're for. So if you have 2 sentences, 2 complete sentences, you can make them into one by using a FANBOY, and then you have one long sentence with that connector. So here is the first example. So this is grammar rule number 1. Grammar rule number 1. If FANBOYS, so if one of your 7 FANBOYS connect 2 words or phrases, don't use a comma. So, you know, it's kind of like a list, but with only 2. So if it's only connecting 2 words or 2 phrases, do not use a comma. So their example is, the office party will feature cupcakes and lobster. Okay, so there is your FANBOY and, and because you are connecting only 2 words, you do not need a comma, no comma. So in this one, grammar rule number two, if a fanboy, so again, those 7 fanboys, connect 2 verb phrases, you do not need a comma, no comma. So let's look at that example. So the sentence is, we can either order lobster or stay within our budget. So here, the fanboy or is our fanboy, is connecting 2 verb phrases, right? So order is a verb, stay is a verb. So it's connecting those 2 verb phrases, so it does not need a comma. No comma for this example. All right, so here is grammar rule number 3. Grammar rule number 3, we do need a comma when it is a series. So when you are listing 2 or more items, you have to have a comma. So let's look at that example. So here, the sentence is, the accounting department will probably recommend cupcakes, celery, and water. So 3 things, they named 3 things, cupcakes, celery, and water. Those are your 3 items that you're listing. So you need those commas after cupcakes, after celery sticks. Let me go back just a little bit so you can see that again. So yes, so you need those commas if you are listing, again, 2 or more items, all right? So and here, and is your fanboy, right? That is the A, and fanboy. And because it is more than 1 or more than 2 items in a series, you need those commas between them. So the next one, grammar rule number 4. If you have 2 independent clauses, and independent clauses are clauses that can stand alone, right? They are independent. So if you have a clause that can be by itself, then it is independent, it is on its own. So if you have 2 independent clauses with a fanboy connecting it, you do need a comma. So let's look at this example. So here's our example. Okay, it doesn't have its commas yet. Let's see if you guys can do it on your own. So again, if we have 2 independent clauses, we have to use a comma. So let's look at our independent clauses. All right, we have Jane will bake some decoy cupcakes. That is one independent clause. It is a full clause. It can stand on its own. You can put a period after cupcakes, and that is a good to go sentence, which makes it independent, okay? Our second sentence, sentence number 2, Larry will sneak in the lobster. Again, this is an independent clause. This clause can stand by itself. It can be one sentence with nothing else. Okay, so your fanboy here is and, so you do need that comma, okay? And the comma goes, well, you'll see where it goes. So yes, so they have underlined Jane will bake and Larry will sneak. So again, these are your independent clauses. They're basically just full sentences, right? You have your subject and you have your verb. That's all you need for a sentence, your subject and your verb. So those two are your independent clauses. And you have to have that comma. Oops. Let's go back and look at that just for a second again. So yes, so and again is your fanboy, and then your comma needs to go before your fanboy. You can see that right here. So Jane will bake some decoy cupcakes, comma, and Larry will sneak in the lobster. So here they're listing subordinating conjunctions. These are something we will talk about in the next couple of weeks, but there are a ton of subordinating conjunctions, all right? But we only have 7 coordinating conjunctions, right? Oops. We have for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so, all right? So she was saying, or I'm saying, that there are a ton of subordinating conjunctions. We will look at those later. But just the coordinating conjunctions, there are only 7. Okay, so for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. All right, you can remember that again with fanboys. So when coordinating conjunctions connect clauses of equal strength, as in 2 independent clauses, right? So it was 2 full sentences. They always need that comma, okay? So just think of it that way. If it's 2 independent clauses, then you need that comma. So in this example, Casey is an introvert, is your independent clause, 1 independent clause. He likes office parties is your 2nd independent clause. So you have to have that comma, and it needs to go before your fanboy, which is yet. So here are some examples for you guys. So here's the first example. So office parties tend to be boring, awkward, or awesome. So the hint here is there are items being listed. How many items are there? Boring, awkward, awesome. There are 3 items, which means you have to use commas when listing those items. As you can see here, or is our fanboy, and those are our commas. So office parties tend to be boring, comma, awkward, comma, or awesome. All right, here is another example. So let's hope that Larry and the boss don't get into a fight over the lobster. So here we need to see there's no series, right? So we don't have to worry about that. Let's look at whether these clauses are independent or dependent, or if they are the same and equal value. So the first independent clause is before your fanboy, and let's hope that Larry. Is the clause let's hope that Larry independent or dependent? Is that a full sentence? Can it stand on its own? Let's hope that Larry. Let's hope that Larry what? Right, no, it is a dependent clause. It cannot stand on its own. All right, what about the next sentence? The boss don't get into a fight over the lobster. Is that independent or dependent? The boss don't get into a fight over the lobster. It can't really stand on its own, right? There they are, getting into a fight. So, and is our fanboy, but it is connecting 2 nouns. So you do not need a comma. All right, there's no verb phrase. It's only nouns. There is no series. There is no equal value independent clauses, so no commas. So here's our next example. Casey loves cupcakes, but he doesn't like lobster. What is our fanboy here? Yes, it is but. Casey loves cupcakes, but he doesn't like lobster. So let's look at our 2 clauses. So Casey loves cupcakes. Is that an independent clause or a dependent clause? Can it stand on its own or not? It can stand on its own. It is an So with this sentence, Casey loves cupcakes. That's our first independent clause, as I said, and he doesn't like cupcakes, or he doesn't like lobster is our second independent clause. So our fanboy but needs that comma, all right? And our next example, Larry breeds genetically modified lobsters. That is one clause. After he finishes his workday. That's your second clause. And this was a trick. So after is not one of your fanboys, right? Fanboys are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. After is not one of them. We will learn about it in a couple of weeks. So again, our coordinating conjunctions can be remembered with the acronym FANBOYS. So there are 7 of them. If you just remember FANBOYS, you'll remember all of the coordinating conjunctions. So if you look below in our presentation, you'll see that I have the link for this video, so you can watch it again and you can actually hear what she is saying during the video. And there's also a homework assignment that I would like you to look at and do as best you can. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know.